Brad, the ruck situation's left you with a pleasant headache, hasn't it?
Yeah, hopefully. We expect Goldie to be okay. He was pretty close to playing last week, so we'll assess that. And Big Prusy took his opportunity, so we'll continue to have a look at the structure forward and in the ruck, and then go with what we think suits the opposition best. And to be perfectly honest, we're not 100% decided yet. We want to see how Goldie trains, and then we'll make a call.
Could you go with both or not?
Yeah, well, we think that's an option. Yeah, we did in the JLT game against the Giants, and both were pretty good. So we'll certainly have a look at that as an option. But it's good to have these problems. Better than having no one to play in the ruck.
And where does that sort of leave Majak or your other tools?
I don't think it affects him too much, because he's a really capable forward, and he gives us the flexibility to go a bit smaller at times and use him as a pure ruck or a backup ruck. So I think that there's a spot for Majak, provided his form's warranting it. There's a spot for him regardless of what structure we go with.
How frustrating is it for Mason Wood? He just sort of can't get himself on the path.
Yeah, it is frustrating, but it's just a very minor hiccup. I mean, it's a very minor procedure, and we're hopeful that it's only going to be a couple of weeks. But the hamstring injury came at a bad time for him, and he'd had a terrific pre-season and was really looking to emerge and break out to being a really top level forward in the competition. So that side of it's really frustrating for him, but in the scheme of things, it'll be a minor hiccup.
How disappointed in Scott Thompson are you, given that he would have been fairly handy?
Yeah, it's probably touch and go who's more disappointed, Scott or myself. But I think he probably, as disappointed as I am, he's probably even more so. He reacted to he missed a tackle. He wanted to make amends for it, and just had a brain fade. And I didn't look closely at the Vision live game day or after the game, but when I did see it, it's how the tribunal should work. He made a silly mistake, and now he cops his whack, and he'll learn from it, and we move on.
How do you fill that void now? That void, how do you fill it?
Well, we're going to fill it with our 1,000th shin boner. Sam Durden will make his debut for us, and from day one of the off-season last year, he has just been determined to break through into our senior team. He's had a magnificent pre-season, played some really good pre-season footy, and great honour to be the 1,000th shin boner to represent our club. So we're really excited for Sam, and you guys are hearing about this before he's heard about it, so he'll be pretty excited. Hopefully he hasn't got his phone with him out in the ground.
It's been a long week for him.
Yeah, it has. He's had a couple of injuries that have kept him out of our side, but he's a first round selection. He's someone that we have a really high regard for, and he's earned his opportunity.
How hopeful, confident are you can make Josh Kelly a shin boner, Brett?
Well,
be a handy shin boner, you would imagine.
No, he'd be a nice player to coach, that's for sure. But no, he's an exceptional young player, and I understand there's going to be a lot of speculation about him. But I mean, my job's to coach the team, not to speculate on potential player movement. So you guys have heard me say over a long period of time that I'm just not going to engage in a running commentary on potential player movement. I'm just worried about our guys.
Are you encouraged though that the club is going for these sorts of players?
Well, we're always looking to improve our list. So we've got a really clear strategy with what we're setting up. But I think the problem with the industry now is there's going to be a lot of speculation and a lot of innuendo and a lot of rumour, because that's what it is. Sometimes rumours reported as fact, but we just have to let that all slide and let everyone talk about it and not engage in the running commentary.
Nice North Melbourne link though with his father, and also he grew up barracking for the club.
Yeah, well, we would have liked to have. We lobbied the AFL to change the father-son rule back to 50 games, but they saw through that.
You have to do things differently. You have missed out on these sorts of players in recent times. Do you think the club has to?
I think we've got some good ones. Yeah, we've got some good ones over the last few years. So it's a competitive environment out there, and we just want to be in a position where we can compete with the best.
Brad, it's mainly the list manager's job to identify and sort of get the ball rolling. But what direct involvement do you have in these sorts of processes?
I'm just a member. I'm just a member of the list management committee with one voice. But my primary function is to coach the team. Their primary function is to look after the list. So I don't step in where I'm not required. I just play a part, but it's a small part.
Brad, the Giants' midfield's often spoken about, but their forward line's about as dynamic as it gets at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, their back line's not bad. They're a really good team. They've got a wake-up call round one and responded as all good teams do. So yeah, they're going to be, if Patton comes back, obviously that adds another layer of potency to their forward half. But like most games, if you can limit the supply through some competitive efforts in the midfield, then that'll go a long way to helping. But we've started the year in a really competitive fashion, but that unfortunately doesn't deliver us any points. So we're looking to take another step this weekend in a place that we're really familiar with, that we love playing in. The weather, I'm loath to predict the weather in Hobart 2 days out, but looks like it's going to be really good, and it's an awesome venue for us to play at. And we're looking to make Hobart a fortress. We want as many North Melbourne people there as possible, and the Giants have only played there once, and we want to make it a real fortress for us. And it's a ground we play really well, so that'll give us hopefully a little leg up.
Yeah, how much does that good record in Tasmania and generally against the GWS count? Does it count for much?
Well, it just means that we're really familiar with the ground, and they're not. All interstate or non-Victorian teams certainly have a fortress advantage of their own, because we don't get to play at those interstate venues too often, and they do. So that's what we're looking to make Hobart, a place that's really foreign to everyone else, but really comfortable and second nature to us.
You said when the game was turning in that last quarter, it was almost like you guys were going too quick, not that you were going into your shells, that you were sort of maybe rushing things a little bit. What did you get out of particularly that last quarter?
Oh, just a little bit more composure to use our numbers. Around the contest, we looked to rush forward, and Geelong responded really well. They pushed numbers back, and we rushed into their numbers. And conversely, when they got the ball, they were able to go forward against us and get through us and score. So we take our lessons out of that. A little bit of immaturity, because some of our players are young, which is just a fact. But this week has been a great coaching opportunity for us to learn our lessons and go out on the track and work on it. And from what I've seen of this group so far, they learn really quickly and they adjust really quickly. So we're looking for an improvement on that this week.
Sean Higgins seems to be a bloke who's just continuing to learn. How have you seen his start to the season?
Yeah, he's had a fantastic start. He's probably only kept out of the midfield last year by Daniel Wells. So and he's such a capable forward that it's a pretty good problem to have to play him forward. But we've really been determined to push him up into the midfield this year, and he certainly hasn't let us down. He's had a great start.
How big a compliment is it from apparently the next premiership coach? Apparently Leon Cameron reckons you're the hardest, most competitive, contested ball team in the league.
Yeah, I think that's a massive compliment to our group. I would caution our guys that it's round two, and we haven't been able to sustain that level of competitiveness or pressure across 4 quarters. So that's the next challenge for us, and I think we're capable of doing it at times, but we've got to step up and make sure that we can sustain it. And we understand the vulnerabilities of young team in sustaining effort, but it doesn't mean we accept less than their best effort. So we've been okay at it, but are we the best? I think that's yet to be determined.